Hi, welcome back to Holly Hobbies. Let's make this easy spring ruffle wreath. This wreath is beginner friendly and the results are amazing. So let's get started and have some fun crafting this Easter ruffle wreath together. So I'm going to begin our wreath here. I'm going to start with this purple and pink Deco mesh. It's a poly mesh ribbon. And we're going to start with those two colors. And we're going to do a very easy technique. And you're going to love this. And the results are incredible. I love it. Okay, so we're going to take these two colors that we're going to start with, and we have our 20-inch wire wreath frame with the 4 bars. Okay, so we're going to take our two colors here, and first we're going to start by folding them in half, and we're going to bring them up. We're going to start on the inside bar here, so from the outside edge it's the 3rd bar, and we're going to take our 2 rolls here, and we have them on top of each other. They're layered and it's very sticky. We're going to just kind of fold it in half there, and we're going to put each section on each side of this 3rd bar or 2nd bar from the end, 3rd bar from the top there. Okay, and we're going to secure this section here. I have a zip tie that I'm going to use, and we're going to secure it right there to this crossbar. You can fold it a little bit if you want, and we're just going to lay it flat like that. And I'm going to put a zip tie right there at the end to hold it. You can even see there. There we go. All right, so I'm gonna hold that in there, and we're gonna cut that off. And now we're gonna start. We're gonna go around this 2nd bar from the inside or 3rd bar from the outside, and we have our 2 layers. They're on each side. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold them together here. And careful, it gets very sticky. And we're gonna just give it a little, like pull it a little taunt, and then we're gonna pull it that way. Okay, so we're gonna grab another layer here, and we're gonna keep pulling it up through the wreath here. Ready? We're gonna go give it a little tug like that. And we're gonna keep working our way, and we'll just keep rolling this as we go. And we're gonna work our way around this bar here. We're gonna go around the whole wreath, so you can see how it just makes a beautiful little ruffle here. And we're getting close to little crossbar section, so you wanna just kind of push it in a little bit, and you can get another ruffle in at the end, so it's all nice and tight in that section. Okay. So now we're going to skip over that crossbar right there, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do each of our sections on each side of that bar. And we're going to do the same thing. You can kind of go this way and that way, and you just got to keep going all the way around. And you can see how we're working our way through our Deco mesh here. So see how easy that is? You just keep them together. They like to stick all over and we'll just keep working our way. All right, so I'm gonna skip that bar now. And I'm gonna do a few more sections here, and then we'll check back with each other. And I'm gonna work my way around that bar there, around the whole wreath in this beautiful and easy ruffle method. So I'm going to do a few more sections here and I'll check right back with you. So I'm making my way around. I'm almost at the end. I'm hoping I'm going to make it with these one roll of Deco mesh. I hope you're having fun with your ruffles and you can see how fast it goes, and look at how beautiful it's turning out so far with just what we've done so far. So I've got 2 more sections here and we're going to do those together, and then we're going to tie off once we get to that last section, just like we did in the beginning. And these get extra curly towards the end here, so if you want to put a weight or something down on there so it doesn't keep rolling back at you. All right, so we're getting down. Look at how beautiful those nice spring colors look together. All right. And we're on this last section. I'm gonna skip that bar, get that, just kind of go down and back. There you go. Okay, we're on that last bar, and I think we're gonna have just enough Deco mesh to make it around the 20-inch. I'm gonna put my coffee down here on these rolls. No, that might not be a very good idea. I'll just hold it with my elbow. They keep rolling back at me. Okay, we're on this last section. I'm going to cross that, keep the Deco mesh together here. Put a section on each side of that bar. Second bar from the inside, third bar from the top. And here we go, we're on the last one. We made it around to where we tied off in the beginning. These last few, like I said, they like to get very curly. And we're just gonna keep going here. This last little section. All right, just gonna try to squeeze a few more ruffles in. Okay, so we're getting close to the end here. And we have our little section here. We can just kind of push it down there to the bottom where we had tied it off that little end piece. Okay, so we're getting to the end here, and we're gonna cut off now, and I'll just cut it about 2 inches down, just like that. And now we're gonna tie off this piece that we just cut off, and we can tie it on a bar close, another bar right here where we had started with the other one. And I'm just gonna slip the zip tie under the bar. You can also use Chanel stems. You don't have to use zip ties. Okay, I'm gonna clip this off. And I'm just gonna clip the end here. And we did our first layer of our first ring of this beautiful Easter colors here. And now we're gonna grab 2 more of our colors. Look how pretty that looks with just that one ring. So now we made it through the one ring, the third ring from the outside, or the second ring from the inside. And we had doubled up on this pink and purple Deco mesh, and we made it around. So now for this next ring, we're not gonna double up. We're just gonna do that same thing, but we're gonna do 1 layer. So we started on that third bar, and now we're gonna go to the second bar. And we're gonna take this purple Deco mesh or whatever color you choose, and I'm gonna go on each side of that bar, of the second bar, with each side of my Deco mesh. And just like we did before, we're going to zip tie it to the end. And I'm just gonna zip tie it right here to this crossbar section here. I mean, you could zip tie it anywhere, we're just tying that in right in there, just like we did with that first set. And I'm gonna go ahead and clip that off. And I'm just gonna trim the edge. Okay, so now we're gonna do just like we did with those first doubled up layers. We're gonna go around this bar now with just this one layer of Deco mesh. 2 layers would just be a little, you could do it, but it's, since we're already used that bar that one time, it's just easier to get the single layer through, and then it's gonna give it that little ruffle around the edge here. So we're gonna just keep on going. Now we're gonna jump over into this next section, and I'm gonna just bring the Deco mesh, the finished edges on each side, and we're gonna pull. We're gonna kind of go that way, and you don't want it to bunch up on you, and you're just gonna gently just keep pulling it out. Sometimes it might get twisted and stuck, and that's okay. You're gonna be able to get your ruffles going. There we go. And I'm gonna keep going. See, I'm already ready. I'm jumping over to that next bar again. That's how fast it goes. And look at how beautiful this wreath is turning out with what we've done so far with our ruffle method here. So I'm gonna keep working my way around doing this ruffle method, and I'm gonna keep finishing up all of the sections till I make it around to the other side. So I'm going around, and I made it this far right here, and I ran out of the purple. So I'm gonna take this lavender, I have this little section left to do, and I'm gonna take this lavender. I just wanted you to know why I had this other color here, but I'm just gonna finish it off with this other lighter lavender, this last couple sections. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna tie it off, cut it and tie it off just like we do when we start. And look at how beautiful and gorgeous these ruffles are turning out. This is so easy, and look at how beautiful. I mean, just look at that gorgeousness. And you could see it goes very fast. It's beginner friendly. The hardest part is just getting your Deco mesh from not sticking on each other, and make sure it's not twisted. That's why I like just to kind of keep my finger in the middle right there when I'm doing the ruffles. And we're almost here at the end. There we go. And we have our single layer here. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this off here. And I'm going to see if I can't find, I'm getting low on zip ties. I have a couple left. And we're going to zip tie this to the wire frame. And clip off the end. So when you flip it over, you can see we have these gorgeous ruffles, and you can just fluff and organize it however you want with your ruffles. And we could take those first couple layers and kind of fluff those apart. So you just figure out how you like it. And look at that. Isn't that fun? And look at those, oh, just the effect is so gorgeous. Okay. And so this is the sign that I had in mind for this beautiful wreath. So we're going to be placing the sign on our wreath next, and then we're going to be adding some beautiful accessories. And this is just, I mean, it's gorgeous just like that. You wouldn't even have to add anything else. You put your sign in, and I think that's gorgeous like that. But we are going to add a few more finishing touches here. And right now we're going to prep our sign. So we're prepping the back of our sign. I'm gonna do a dab of hot glue on each corner here. And we're gonna use the Chanel stems to secure them to the wire wreath frame. So we're gonna just stick those in the hot glue, and I got these little plastic, like little nibbles, and I love them. This is the part I always burn my finger on. And how fun are these things? These are brilliant. Just little silicone fingertips. Okay, so we're gonna let these dry, and that's just gonna give it a little extra security. So I have our wreath flipped over, and you're gonna see sometimes there might be some things hanging like that, and you can just adjust them if you want. It's usually right around the brackets like that. You can just give it a little pull right there, or you can just leave them, no big deal. But I'm just showing you that that is completely normal. And don't think you did anything wrong. There, you just kind of give it a little tug, and that'll just straighten that out. Okay, so look at how gorgeous our wreath is with all these beautiful ruffles. See how easy that was. So we're gonna add our sign now. We have our Chanel stems all glued on the back, so we can flip those up now. And you can use wire as well. And we're just gonna place that, all the Chanel stems towards the center. And you don't wanna squish it down too hard because these are just these beautiful ruffles. We don't want to mess those up. So it'll just kind of float right there on top of the ruffles. And what we're going to do is we're going to flip it over. And we're going to secure our Chanel stem here. Just a little tiny bit to the wire wreath frame. We don't want to pull it too tight. It should be just long enough to keep it where we want it. If we pull it too tight, we don't want to mess up our ruffles. So we're just going to put a Chanel stem on each side of that wire wreath frame bar and give it a couple twists. Okay. And we're going to flip it over now. And look at how gorgeous that is. And we can adjust things, like this end needs to be tightened a little bit more. So I'm just going to tighten it, undo it. You can just do it a few times till you get it where you want, so you don't have to take off untwist a whole bunch just to readjust it. Okay. There we go. I'm liking that. Isn't that beautiful? Oh, I love that. Look at that faux. It looks like a little wood panel. That's so cute. Okay, so we've got our ruffles, and I'm just gonna kind of fluff up some ruffles around the sign here. So we're gonna do a few more little finishing touches here, and look at our gorgeous Easter wreath is coming together here. So I'm gonna go get a few little things that we're gonna add to our wreath, and I'm gonna finish this wreath up. Look at that, gorgeous. Finishing touches for our wreath, and if you haven't seen any of my videos before, I like to do these curled ribbon bundles, I'm gonna do them in, let's do them in 14 inches. And I like to make these as fillers for spaces and gaps that we might have in our wreath. So this one has a few gaps around the sign. So we're gonna add a few of these bundles. You can mix colors, you can do whatever you want. I'm just gonna use the same color that I'll use to finish off the wreath. So basically what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our 14 inches and see how it just curls towards the centers, towards each other. So we're gonna take the ends and we're just gonna curl them towards each other. You can either just like roll it or you can just pinch and roll, but we're gonna go to the center and then we're gonna just pinch it and we're gonna place it. Or we're gonna give it a twist and then place it right there in our bodabra. Or if you have a potato chips from the 99-cent store, those will work too. So we're rolling the ends towards each other and we're pinching and we're rolling. And we're gonna give it a twist and we're gonna sit it on there at an angle. And for these little fillers, we're just gonna do 2. I'm not gonna do 3, but you can do all different colors, 2 or 3, and they look real pretty. And see, they just give it a little curl, little curled bundles here, and we're gonna put these in our wreath. So I'm gonna make 4 of those and come back and I'll show you how we put this all together. Finishing up my last bundle here, and I'm just rolling them towards the center, pinching and rolling. Give it a twist and putting it on my bodabra. And I'm gonna take my Chanel stem. And I have 4 of these little bundles that we're gonna add to fill up some gaps in our wreath. Let me go grab the wreath, we'll be right back. So this is the design that I have come up with. Everybody loves hydrangeas. They're my favorite flower of all time. These periwinkle is what I had in my wedding. I love periwinkle and hydrangeas. So I added some, I got a little design together. We haven't secured anything, but I just wanted to show you that. And then we have our little curled bundles that we just made. And we have, see how we have a bunch of gaps and stuff right there? And we're gonna just put this right through this big hole right there. Just like that. And we're just gonna let those little curls just kind of float and do their thing. And what I'm doing in the back is I'm gonna secure it to that wire wreath frame. So I'm just gonna find a bar and I'm gonna put my Chanel stem on each side of the bar, just like we do with everything else. There we go. All right, and you could pull it tighter if you want it shorter, if you want them to stick in there more, but look at what a cute little filler that is. And we got the little curls that just hang around. These are my favorite things to do as fillers in my wreath, and just to add pizzazz, even not fillers. They're just super cool. Look at that. Look at the difference that makes. And that's all we did. And see, this is very sticky, and these curls you can place wherever you want and they'll stay. So that's why I thought 4 would just be perfect, because that fills in that little space right there. Let me find the wire bar. Let me get the Chanel stem in there. And look at how cute that is. You see how easy this wreath was to make, and look how fast it was. And then we have our little bundles. I'm gonna pull the sign up a little bit more. And I'm gonna add these other 2 on the other side here. And you just put them straight through. There's nothing to it. Nothing to it at all. And we're gonna just get it on each side of that wire frame. You could pick whichever bar you can find. It doesn't matter, as long as it's on each side of the bar, so it's secured to something. And we're gonna fill in this last little gap here. And same concept. But you could see, look at just how pretty this technique is with the ruffles. And you can see, I mean, I'm sure your imagination can go crazy and see all the different directions you could take this style of wreath with all the different holidays. This one, there we go. I'm trying to find that bar. Okay, I'm securing that one. And that's all that was 4 little bundles, and look at all that extra pizzazz that it gave. So I'm gonna lift this up higher. And another thing, another tip, I'm just gonna take these off. We're gonna add those in just a second. But look at how pretty it looks, even without the flowers, like that. Look at that. And we're gonna add some ribbon. We're gonna add some ribbon up here to fill in those holes. Just wanna lift that up higher, but isn't that gorgeous? Now I wanna show you a little trick. So you see that, I'm gonna push this down a little higher. We have this little gap here, and you can always stuff it with something like some newspapers, some grocery bags, something like that, you know, to keep your sign in there. And then what I always like to do is cut a cardboard back, and you can always measure your ring before you start, and then cut a piece of cardboard, and then I'll just do hole punch holes, 4 holes and 4 zip ties to the wire frame. And that's how I always finish up the backs of my wreaths. So in this type of wreath that, you know, we want it to kind of float a little bit higher. See, this side's too tight right there. So I'm gonna loosen this one. So that's what I would do. I'm gonna loosen that just to keep it floating on top. All right, let's see what this looks like now. There we go. See, now we're getting more, it's floating on top. And we have our little curls we can adjust around. And look at how adorable that is. So that's what I would do is I'll finish it off with, like I said, we could push all this down that way. I mean, you don't have to, it'll stay like that, but you could finish it off that way. Just stuff it with some newspaper, some grocery bags, put your cardboard back on it, and that's gonna stay put where you like it. Okay, so I'm gonna adjust this. There we go, get all my curls the way I want. Get that up the way I want, okay. So now we're going to decorate it with our hydrangeas, and we're gonna give it the finishing touch, and then we're gonna do a couple little bows or some ribbon up here to hide these holes up there. So we're gonna prep the hydrangeas next. So all I'm gonna do for this next step is I'm gonna put a chenille stem through the hydrangea and just find a little spot that'll work, and I'm just gonna twist them like that. And I'm gonna use this to secure it to the wire frame, the chenille stem, and you can always do a dab of hot glue on there as well. So I'm gonna get these hydrangeas prepped with chenille stems, and then we're getting ready to put the finishing touches on our wreath. So I have all my hydrangeas prepped, and I'm gonna just do a little pre-placement where I want everything. And I'm just gonna stick in an alternating pattern here. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna use those chenille stems, and we're gonna secure it to the wire wreath frame, just like we did everything else. But right now I just kind of wanna play around and see where I want everything first. So I'm gonna finish up this design here. I don't think I like these right across from each other like that. So let's see here. So you just kind of play around. I don't know why I'm having a hard time here. Let's see here. Okay, so we're gonna do something like that. And we're gonna go ahead and secure I'm gonna see how this is a little long right here. We don't want it poking all over. We'll just cut that so it's about 1/2 inch or so. And then we're going to just figure out where we want it. And we're going to put the chenille stems right through on each side of the wire frame, just like we've done with everything else. And I got the chenille stem on each side, and now I'm just gonna give it a couple twists. And I don't wanna sink it down too far unless that's the look you're after, but I'm just gonna leave it floating on top just a little bit like that. So I'm gonna go around and I'm going to secure each of these. See, now that one's okay, that's about 3/4 of an inch or so. And I'm gonna figure out my placement on everything. You can play around, go inside layers of your deco mesh, whatever you wanna do. And I'm gonna go ahead and place the rest of these hydrangeas, and then we're gonna get ready for the very last finishing touch on this beautiful Easter farmhouse wreath. Getting ready to put this last hydrangea on our gorgeous spring wreath here. And we're just getting down here to the bars. One chenille stem on each side of the bar. And we are almost ready to finish this up. Look at how pretty that looks with those gorgeous hydrangeas and our beautiful curled ribbon bundles here to fill up those spaces. And look at how gorgeous our wreath has turned out with these layers, these ruffles around the side with our curled ribbon bundles. And you see how easy that was. That was a total of 6 flowers, 2 rolls of deco mesh, 2.5, and a Dollar Tree sign and a wire wreath frame. So we're gonna finish the last couple finishing touches here. I wanna put a little ribbon right here, and I'm gonna glue that so that covers that little hole right there. And we're almost ready to wrap this design up. I'm just gonna make a quick little bow, a stacked bow with this various ribbon that I have cut into about 23 inches or so. And I'm just gonna start making these little bows, ribbon bows, and I'm gonna stack them. So we're just gonna lay it flat and we're gonna crisscross it over each other. And this back part's kind of, it lays up where we're gonna lay it flat. And then you're just gonna slide it right underneath. And then we'll pinch it in the middle. And I'm just gonna keep doing that same thing and just stacking a beautiful little Easter bundle here, ribbon bundle. And I think it's gonna be really cute with the colors. And this is gonna be our finishing touch here on this beautiful Easter ruffle bow. And we have just a few more left here. And I think what we'll try to do is get all of these together. So let's try that same thing that we were doing. We make our crisscross and we bring it all together here. And I'm gonna stick that right on there. And I'm gonna take my chenille stem. I'm gonna grab the whole bundle. This is just easier for me to pull it off and then put the chenille stem. You can put the chenille stem at the bottom and come up like that, whatever works for you. And so we just made a cute little ribbon bundle here. And let me just fix it up a little bit. Good. All right. So now we're gonna attach this to our sign, and that's gonna give us the last little finishing touch. I'll be right back. So I'm just adding our finishing bow. I put both chenille stems right through that hole on the sign that was already pre-drilled. This was the other one. We're gonna cover that up with the flower, but look at how cute this turned out. And I'm gonna trim some of this ribbon here so it's doesn't cover up the sign. There we go. Look at, oh. So I hope you, there we go. And I'll just give a couple of these a little trim. But isn't that adorable? I love how this turned out with the ruffle ribbon. And like I said, I will get this all trimmed out, but I'm so happy that you came to craft with me today. And look at our gorgeous Easter wreath and how easy that was and beginner friendly. We had our ruffles around the wire.
Thanks for joining Holly Hobbies, from my heart to yours.
Cute little curled fillers in it, and anyone can do this. Simple, easy, and look at how beautiful that turned out. I am so happy that you came by to craft with me today and that you'll come back to my channel and craft with me some more.